What crimes deserve a harsher punishment? On the flip side, what crimes deserve a lesser punishment? Individuals who exploit vulnerable seniors and lonely individuals, coaxing them to hand over their life savings, should face stringent consequences. These actions are inherently cruel. Even when grandparents are aware of common scams, they can still become victims. Some may forget the warning signs, others are simply too trusting, and scammers continually devise new methods to deceive. It sucks. The police log in our local paper frequently reports similar incidents. In one case, a 42-year-old woman discovered her 88-year-old father had transferred $15,000 to someone pretending to be her, alleging they were detained overseas. My dad has a pretty extreme stance on littering. If someone is caught throwing trash out of their car window, he believes they should be pulled over and be unalived on the spot. His argument goes like this: it's the ultimate in laziness and indifference. When was the last time you were anywhere in public and a trash can wasn't within 100 feet? If you toss your garbage out the window, it shows you can't wait for a bin to turn up, even though they're always around. If someone can't muster the patience to wait until a simple solution, like a garbage can, appears, why should society deal with them anyways? It's a harsh viewpoint, but I understand where he's coming from. It wasn't about the law, but I remember when I was in my early teens, I spent months gathering the nerve to dial up social services and report my dad for mistreatment and neglect. Each time I tried, I chickened out and hung up, shaking. But one day I stuck it out and managed to speak to someone on the line. The moment I mentioned I was calling about my own father, looking back, maybe I should have fibbed, the operator's attitude shifted completely, and they started belittling me. I told them about how my dad would disappear for whole weekends. He and his girlfriend would constantly be in volatile, loud fights. He'd strike our pets, and he'd hit me too. The response I got, dripping with patronization, was, "You can't reach out to social services just because your dad raises his voice now and then." No further action was taken. Now, at 23, I still wake up from nightmares about those days, spent in fear of the man supposed to protect me. A kid can't possibly put into words the kind of fear a parent like that instills. The terror is too overwhelming, too vast for simple descriptions. Expecting a kid who's been through abuse to flawlessly articulate their trauma is absurd. I dealt with social services multiple times, and every single encounter showed how flawed and unhelpful the system was. They never did anything to help. Plane Company essentially caused the deaths of hundreds due to corporate greed. Despite this, no one faced criminal charges. They only received a hefty fine. I was just thinking this: corporate crime. Consider when companies are aware their products are harmful, but deliberately hide or withhold that information. This is a recurring theme seen in cases involving tobacco, asbestos, PFAS, and opioids. Also, issues like wage theft, violations of child labor laws. And don't forget insider trading. There's a serious need for stricter oversight on lobbying. Too many corporations lobby to influence policies for their benefit, rather than allowing the government to protect consumer interests, like how the meat industry battles against labeling regulations for their products compared to plant-based alternatives, or how oil companies lobby to prevent carbon taxes.